Wow.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Marie's Kitchen. I'm so glad you're here. Today we're making snickerdoodles. Snickerdoodles are like sugar cookies, but they have a unique, very subtle tang to them, which sort of offsets the sweetness. And they're also dusted in cinnamon and sugar. These snickerdoodles have crispy edges and very tender centers, and they're also very easy to make. So I can't wait to share this one with you. Let's get started. So first up, I do want to thank Karen Garcia 4939. In my last video for chocolate chip cookies, I asked for a request of what other kind of cookies you'd like to learn, and Karen requested snickerdoodles. So Karen, these are for you. All right, so we're gonna start to measure out our flour, and usually I have it already measured out, but I just wanted to show you in case some of you are thinking about getting a scale for measuring your dry ingredients. I just wanna show you how quick and easy it is. You put your bowl on there, and then you hit the 0 button to tare that, so it's at 0 grams. And then we're gonna just add 385 grams, and this is 2 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour. So I've always measured in cups, but lately it's just easier to measure with a scale, so I've kind of been switching over. But either works for this. It's 2 3/4 cup all-purpose flour, and I'll have both the cups measurement as well as the weight in the recipe. So 385 grams. And there we go, there's our flour. So no measuring cups required, nothing else to clean, really easy. Okay, next we're going to add our cream of tartar. Now cream of tartar is what gives these cookies that little tang that I was telling you about. It's an acid that is produced during winemaking, actually. And it kind of attaches to the barrels of the wine. They scrape it off, and then you have cream of tartar. And this is used in meringues if you want to stabilize egg whites, angel food cake, things like that. So you may have some in your pantry or in your spice cabinet, but if you don't, go ahead and get some. It'll last you a long time, and then when you want to make snickerdoodles or some meringues, you'll have it. Now if you don't have it, I will give you a substitution, so don't worry about that. I know sometimes you don't have all the ingredients you need, so let's talk about substitutions. Okay, we're gonna use 1½ teaspoons of the cream of tartar. And the cream of tartar, in addition to providing a little bit of tangy flavor, it also can help stabilize the egg whites in the cookies and also prevent sugar crystallization. And both of those things help make a more tender cookie. Next, let's add 1 teaspoon baking soda. The cream of tartar, which is an acid, is gonna react with the base, which is baking soda. And that's what's gonna release that carbon dioxide gas in the cookie and make it puff up big, which is what we want. And we want a quick puff up, and you'll see it in the oven. And then when it relaxes, it softens, and that's what gives you those little tiny cracks on top that you see on snickerdoodles. So that's the way we achieve them with the cream of tartar and the baking soda. Next up, let's add some salt. I'm gonna use about 3/4 teaspoon kosher salt. Next, we add 1 tablespoon cornstarch, and this is optional. Lately, I have been using cornstarch in my cookies because it keeps them very soft, and it also can prevent too much spreading, so it keeps your cookies nice and round. These are bakery-style snickerdoodles, so you want them to have a nice round shape, be a little bit thicker, and the cornstarch will help with that. If you don't have cornstarch or don't want to use it, don't worry, leave it out. Your cookies will still be delicious. So that's our dry ingredients. Let's stir those up. For years, I made these cookies without the cornstarch, but lately I like adding it. It's kind of a secret ingredient that keeps cookies softer longer and helps with the shape and things like that. So I really like it. Okay, we'll set aside our dry ingredients and move on to the wet. Oh, also before I forget, the substitution, if you don't have cream of tartar, take out the cream of tartar and baking soda and instead use 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Okay, now we'll move on to the wet ingredients. And if you do hear something in the background, that is our African gray parrot. She's hanging out in her cage over there in the living room, and she loves to holler at me. So that's what's in the background if you're hearing something. She's hilarious. All right, so let's zero out the scale, and we're gonna measure out 1 cup of white sugar, which is 200 grams. Next step is brown sugar, and for that we're gonna need a 1/2 cup, which is 105 grams. So I'm just gonna add that to 200 and we'll get 305. So we have our sugar measured out, wasn't that easy? We'll set that aside. Now let's move on to the butter. This is soft butter. I got it out before I was setting everything up, so try to do that, and if not, you can pop it in the microwave for just a 10 seconds or so just to soften it if needed. But we'll go ahead and add this. This is 2 sticks. Each stick is 1/2 cup, so we're using 1 cup of butter. And in grams, that would be 226 grams total. If you've been watching the last few shows, you know that I'm kind of on a cookie marathon lately. I and our family have committed to making cookies for a food truck that feeds the homeless every week. It's 108 cookies or more if we have time every week. So I have been in my cookie era, making all these cookies, and it's been so much fun to share them with y'all. So we're starting with 2 sticks of the butter. It's unsalted butter. Of course, you can use salted butter and leave out the salt. Okay, so next is we're gonna add the sugar, and we're gonna mix this for 2 to 3 minutes. So it's a nice long mix to really aerate the butter, which helps also give these cookies some lift. If you don't have a stand mixer, you can certainly use electric beaters. Those work just as well. All right, let's start this. Okay, it's been about 2 minutes, so I'm going to, oh my goodness, there she goes. You always want to scrape down the sides so you don't, you ensure everything gets mixed. And then next we'll add 2 eggs. So 2 large eggs. And at this point, you do want to preheat your oven to 400 degrees. You do want to start preheating your oven early because it can take a little while to get up to temperature, especially mine. Mine takes a little while, so start early, give it some time. Sounds like a truck is backing up. That's our bird. Next is 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Okay, now we're gonna mix this for about 2 minutes, get a lot more air in there. All right, now we will scrape down the sides again. There we go. And now it's time to add our dry ingredients. Just pour that right in, and then we'll give it a gentle stir. When you're mixing in flour, you always want to just mix just until combined, and that's because mixing the flour with the liquid ingredients is going to start the creation and strengthening of a gluten network, and you don't want a strong gluten network in cookies. You want it to be weaker so the cookies stay tender and don't come out tough. So if your cookies are coming out tough, you've probably been mixing the dough too long. Mix just to combine. For me, I counted about 10 seconds or so, maybe less. So it's pretty quick. One more mix. Okay, looks good. Then I'm gonna use this bowl over here that we use for dry ingredients. And see, there's very little to clean up when you don't use measuring cups, you just use the scale. And I will put the link to the scale in the description box below if you want to try using it. Now what I like to do is pop this in the fridge for about 30 minutes. It firms up the dough, cools the butter, and it'll result in a little bit puffier cookie that's doesn't spread quite so much. If you use it right now, what you can do, if you prefer a thinner snickerdoodle cookie, use the dough right now and it'll come out a little thinner because the butter's not as cold. And that trick works for any cookie. So this is gonna go in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes. Now, here I have 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, and to that I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, ground cinnamon. Now we're gonna roll them in the cinnamon and sugar to give them that nice cinnamon and sugar flavor, and then also, people can see them and know that they're snickerdoodles by the way they look. All right, so we'll just scoop out our dough, and what I like to do, it streamlines things, is just to measure out, 9 or so and set them on a plate. I'll show you why, because we're gonna roll them in cinnamon and sugar. And once you get to rolling and handling the dough, your hands are gonna get all buttery and sticky and cinnamony. So then you're going back and forth, or you're getting this all greasy. So it's just easier if you measure out how many will fit on your cookie sheet. I'm doing 9 here. And then roll them in the sugar. And then you can go wash your hands and do the next batch. Now we'll take our little balls of dough here. I'm gonna roll those in my hands. That will help give even edges. I'm giving you so many cookie tips today. I hope they're helpful. Okay, so we rolled it in the cinnamon sugar. We're gonna pop it on our parchment lined baking sheet here. And I do about 9 per sheet with at least 2 inches apart because they do spread. Are there any other cookies that you'd like to see? Just leave me a comment below and I will put them on my list. It's been a lot of fun trying new cookies and having somewhere to take them, so I'm not stuck eating them all. And if you don't have a food truck to cook for, then maybe you can find a food pantry that would take some homemade cookies, or maybe even a neighbor, or your mailman, or the person who cuts your hair. I took some to the person who cuts my hair yesterday, and he was so happy to get a bag of warm snickerdoodles. So even if you live alone, or you don't eat sugar and you just feel like you don't have anyone to bake for, I bet there's someone out there who would really enjoy these cookies. All right, these go in the oven. We're gonna bake them at 400. Check them in about 9 minutes. You do not want to overcook these cookies. Otherwise, they're gonna get really hard. All right, into the oven. Okay, I think the cookies are almost done. So we're gonna get on the oven mitts, my favorites. There they are, and they look great. Oh, they're nice and puffed up, and as they cool, they're gonna sink down a little bit. Look how pretty they are with the cinnamon and sugar. So pretty. Of course, the house smells amazing. Now we'll let these sit on the pan for about 5 minutes, and then we're gonna move them over to our cookie drying rack and let them cool completely. If they stay on the pan for more than about 5 minutes, they're gonna keep cooking, and they can come out a little harder or tougher. So dry them on a cookie drying rack. Oh my gosh, look at this delicious cookie. We're gonna break it and it's just gonna fall apart because it's so tender and delicious inside. Just the right thickness. Wow. This is a good cookie. So delicate, so tender, crispy on the edges. I can't wait for you to try these. Thanks so much for joining us on Marie's Kitchen. Today we made these amazing snickerdoodle cookies. They were so easy to make, and hopefully all the tips and tricks are helpful. If you want this recipe, you can head over to my website, mariesaba.com. It's all free. The recipes are free. There's no ads, no pop-ups, nothing like that. Just recipes with some pictures that you can print easily. And if you like, put them in a notebook and make your very own Marie's Kitchen cookbook for free. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Also subscribe and hit the notifications button. I've got lots more videos coming up with easy recipes just like this, and I don't want you to miss any of them. If you'd like to contribute to my channel or what we're doing here with the cookies with Mobile Loaves and Fishes, you can give a super thanks. You can send it directly to my Venmo. I'll put that below. It's at Marie Saba. You can become a member of my channel. That would be amazing. And that's a great way to contribute. Or if you can't contribute financially, watch the video, watch some other videos on my channel. That really helps me on YouTube, which also is a huge support. My goal is to give you some really easy recipes that turn out great every time, so you can build some confidence in the kitchen and feel really inspired to share good food with people that you love. From my kitchen to yours, thank you. We'll see you next time.